Welcome to another fun project that we will, flower that we will paint for our Flower a Month project. This is a carnation. I'm going to make an orange kind of carnation. You can again make any color you want. I'm going to start by mixing the orange that I would like, or using the orange that I would like, and then make a nice big puddle. I'm using a little bit of red, burgundy. I can always just use the color as is, but it's just fun. Add a little bit of yellow to, you can always just use the color as is. I like to mix. I'm going to start by painting from the back to the front, every petal separate. I'm going to do uneven edges. My brush is a little too wet, so I'm going to suck it up and then try again. I'm going to do uneven edges, so it represents the petal, the texture, and what it looks like. I'm going to do all of them from the behind, the back. I'm going to paint one, skip one, paint one, skip one. So I can be sure that they dry individually and not become one big blob. And then hope I don't run out of paint, because that always happens. Okay. Then I want to come back. But let's do this big one here. Making sure that it's uneven. On the outside. And then when you get close to them, you can make them definitely a bit darker if you can. We can always do this in the end too. So if it doesn't work out, then it's all good. I'm going to clean my brush and I'm just going to see if I can blend this in a little bit better. Okay, so I'm thinking let's just first get all of it down, most of it, and then see what it looks like. I'm going to paint this little triangle in here. And then, so what we want to do with these ones now is we want to see if we can make it a bit darker towards the bottom, the middle of the flower, and then to the outside of the petals. You kind of want to go lighter. We try, but then we know we can always come back and just add more. That's such a good color. Oh, wait, I need some yellow. Okay. There's another one that's kind of behind. See if I can make him a little darker. Even though you paint them separate, it shows where it's drying. It will make a nice little line. So always try to paint them separate, even though they kind of look like they are just like the same color. You can just kind of fall over all of them. It is best to just stay in a few, just in the few petals. Just stay in the petals. Like a little section. As soon as you go over again, you will see, even if it's the same color, you will see it becomes a little darker. So we will totally do this in the end. Let's just first get everything down. This petal is coming towards me. So it's got like a round curve, and then the uneven edges is over here. I kind of want to see if I can make it a little lighter towards the top. So I'm cleaning my brush, and then I suck up the drop of water, and then I try to make it a bit lighter towards the end where it's touching. So you kind of want to see dark at the bottom, light the tip is dark, light. Even though at the moment they're all the same color, it's not going to stay like that. Same idea. I want to see if I can make it a little darker. Wow, that is a very interesting orange. And then keep on going. Okay, so now it's kind of all of the colors are painted. I'm gonna just give it a moment to dry. I'm gonna work on my stem. I'm using the same color that I previously said. I like the olive, teal, purple, bluish color. That you don't have to stay in the same color. You can make everything different. You don't have to stay in the same. These are just colors that I really like. So painting it that way, coming back with some blue underneath that leaf. Just kind of, so it's a little darker. And then darker here. Add a little bit more, especially where it's touching. And then adding some of the olive green, maybe, let me see where I can make them. Maybe a touch of green. To just, a touch of yellow, I mean, in my green, to just keep like a lighter idea. I'm gonna skip these, I don't know what you call them, petal thingies or leaf thingies. And I'm gonna paint up and down, kind of stripy, the big section on the flower. So one color green, and then I want to come back with a darker green while it's still wet. Paint a little stripy like that. Clean your brush, suck it up, blend it a bit more in. So you don't want to lose all the light, you don't want to lose all the dark, you just kind of want to soften and blend a little bit some of those lines. I want to make sure that I go close to the orange so there's no open spaces. And even in here, make it maybe a little bit darker and just tap, 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 tap. Let that dry. Let's move on to this weird little tiny leaf. It's going to be a little, should be a little bit lighter or a different green. And then I'm going to make the same green as the stem for the point of this leaf. And because it's still wet, it is blending in. And the one that you can see that's way in the back can just be one color. So to make the petal or the leaf stand out, you can make it slightly lighter. I will come back and see if I can make my petal, why do I want to say petal the whole time? Can go a little darker, clean, suck it up, blend it out. You always have to make sure that you blend it out a little bit more, but be careful to not have too much water on your brush. I'm touching with that dark color just where that leaf and my stem is kind of blending. And use water and a clean brush to kind of just tap, tap, tap on that edge to make it a bit lighter and more blended in. Then I'm going to paint them. Even if they look exactly the same, they will still dry different because we are painting them separately. Using a little bit of water on the tip to push out the color. And I think for now it's going to be good. It is wet. I cannot move or work on it. So let's go back to our flower. Now, if you look at them, there's some different areas, but maybe we just want to come back and add a few more. So especially in the middle where they're touching, you want to go a bit darker. Kind of like that. And then this one, that's kind of that skinny little one. I did simplify the flower a little bit. So if you want to look closely or follow closely, you may not really see because I definitely did simplify the flower a little bit more. Sometimes when I touch the yellow, it's so much. And then where they are touching towards the middle, that's where you want to see the dark area. So if I can just come quickly in and do all of them, so you can kind of see what I mean. And then you can come back and you can blend them in. It is a little bit easier if you do it like this in all the layers, because it does help if you paint on top of a different layer versus trying to get it from the beginning. And then I would just clean my brush, make sure I suck up that drop, and then kind of mess up that hard edge. I still want to wiggle my paintbrush. I don't just want to go straight because it does give the idea of the petals that's moving. This one I can do little circles. You need a few light areas and you need a few darker areas. And then we painted kind of the medium because contrast is what makes the flower stand out. And that is my carnation. It is pretty dry, but just to show you. I kind of want to cut them out immediately so I can start adding them to my bouquet. Looking for the word. So I cut small, I give a little bubble effect, and I'm just going to cut out my flower and stick him in my vase.